That avocado-green refrigerator out in your grandmother's garage. It ran for 25 years. The one in your kitchen right now won't see 10. And that is not an accident. Somebody figured out how to make things last just long enough to sell you another one. In the 1980s, a lot of American homes were full of things built to last. Not fancy things, not magical things, just solid things you could live with for decades. And then, one by one, they started disappearing. Not because they stopped working, but because a better business model came along. Make it cheaper to replace than to repair, and keep the money moving forever. And once you see that pattern, you start noticing it everywhere. So, let's start in the living room. Fair warning, a couple of these are going to tick you off. Number 1. The console television. This thing was furniture. A big wooden cabinet, sometimes with little doors on the front, sitting in the corner, like it belonged there. It was heavy, and when it broke, you didn't haul it to the curb. You called a guy. The TV repairman was a real job back then. A fella with a van and a head full of vacuum tubes, and he'd come right into your house, swap a part, and have it going again for a couple bucks. A TV wasn't disposable. It was something you kept. Then the design changed. Tubes gave way to circuit boards, repair got harder, and replacement got cheaper. And once a new set cost less than fixing the old one, the repairman was the first casualty. Not because people stopped needing him, because the system stopped making room for him. And that was the beginning of a new rule. If it's cheaper to replace than to repair, the thing dies young. Now hold on to that rule, because the next one is where it really starts to sting. Number 2. The appliance that lasted. Here it is. This is the one that really gets people. Remember that fridge? The one in the garage that ran a quarter century? The washer in the basement? The dryer that outlived the house? That wasn't some lucky exception. That was normal. People expected major appliances to run 20 years, maybe more, and they usually did. Now the average new refrigerator is built to last about 10 years, sometimes less. And no, that's not in your head, and it's not bad luck. The old ones were simple: a motor, a compressor, a couple of mechanical timers, parts a regular person could actually get at and replace. The new ones run on sealed electronic control boards that burn out, and when one fails, the fix can cost damn near what a whole new fridge costs. Convenient for the factory, expensive for everybody else. Because somewhere along the way, the manufacturers did the math. Build a fridge that lasts 25 years. You sell a person one fridge their whole life. Build one that lasts 10. You sell them 3. The old fridge didn't just keep your food cold. It interrupted the cycle. The new one keeps the cycle going. There's a name for it, in plain English. Planned obsolescence. Not a mistake, not bad luck. A system that makes a short life profitable. Number 3. The phone on the wall. Remember this one? Bolted right into the kitchen wall, with that curly cord stretched as far as it would go, so you could pretend you had some privacy. No battery, no charger, nothing to plug in. And in one very important way, it was more reliable than the phone in your pocket right now. The copper line itself carried the power, sent down the wire from miles away. So when the electricity went out, that phone still worked. If a storm knocked out the whole neighborhood, you still had a lifeline in the dark. We traded that away for a phone we could carry in our pocket. And honestly, in a lot of ways, that was a fair trade. But the trade had a hidden cost. A smartphone dies when the power dies. A cordless on the counter dies the same way. The old wall phone didn't care if the lights were off. It was one of the last things in the house that was still useful when everything else went dark. And that's not me being sentimental. That's just how the thing was wired. Number 4, the answering machine. Right next to that phone, on the little table, sat a box with a tape inside it. The answering machine. And walking in the door to see that red light blinking, that was a whole event. Somebody had reached out. Maybe it was important. Maybe it was a wrong number. Maybe it was news you wanted or news you didn't. You'd hit the button and find out. And that machine recorded onto something physical. A cassette. A tape you could hold, label, even keep if somebody left a message that mattered. Then voicemail replaced it. First at the phone company, then baked right into the cell phone. Same function, different model. The job survived. The object didn't. And here's the detail people forget. The tape was yours. The voicemail sitting on somebody else's server is not. That's the quiet shift nobody noticed until it was already done. We stopped owning the thing and started renting the access. And if you're catching a pattern there, good. You should be. Number 5, the waterbed. Now, this one sounds funny until you actually think about it. For a while, the waterbed was not a joke. It was hot. At its peak in the late 80s, something like 1 in 5 mattresses sold in this country was a waterbed. People wanted that floating, sinking, zero-pressure feel. Then reality caught up. Here's the part everybody forgets. A king-size waterbed, filled up, weighs around 1,800 pounds. Enough that landlords started worrying about floors and leaks and what happens when a seam lets go above somebody else's ceiling. So leases started saying no. Insurance got nervous. And then better alternatives showed up. Memory foam gave you that same sink-in feeling without 1,000 pounds of water and a garden hose in the bedroom. So the waterbed didn't just go out of style. It got outworked, outpriced, and outlawyered. Plain and simple, the thing that sank it was the water. Number 6, wood paneling. The basement, the den, the family room, even the side of the station wagon. For a while, everything looked like it had been wrapped in wood, except most of it wasn't really wood. It was cheap paneling, thin hardboard printed to look like wood grain, made to cover an ugly wall fast. It was the home improvement shortcut. Good enough, quick enough, cheap enough, and you could nail it up in an afternoon. And for a certain kind of house, it made perfect sense. Smaller rooms, lower ceilings, dim little spaces that were supposed to feel cozy. But homes changed. People wanted brighter rooms, open layouts, more light, fewer walls. Drywall got easier. Taste moved on. And the houses that paneling was made for slowly stopped getting built. Because sometimes a thing doesn't die because it failed. It dies because the world it was made for disappears. Number 7. The encyclopedia set. If your family had an encyclopedia set on the shelf, it said something about the house. It said somebody cared about learning. It said if your kid had a question, the answer was right there in matching hardcover volumes, and those books were not cheap. A full set could run you what a used car cost, and families paid for them on a plan, month after month, because that was what you did when you wanted to give your kids access to the world. And you can almost put a date on its death. 1993. Microsoft squeezed an entire encyclopedia onto one little disc called Encarta and started giving it away free with new computers. A shelf of $1,000 books against a disc that costs pennies to copy. That's not a fair fight. Then the internet did what books never could. Update instantly and cost almost nothing. Britannica printed its last paper set in 2012. After 244 years, the books didn't become wrong. They just became something you could get for free. And that's the moment the whole game changed. Knowledge stopped being something you bought once and owned, and became something you stream, search, and never really keep. Number 8. The antenna. And finally, the antenna. Up on the roof, or folded up behind the set, or wrapped in a bit of foil because your uncle swore that fixed the picture. Either way, it pulled television out of the air for free. And that part matters. Broadcast TV used to be something you simply received. The signal came through the sky, and if you had a decent antenna, you watched for nothing but your electric bill. Then cable arrived. More channels, monthly fee, then satellite, then streaming. One by one, the free system became a paid system. The antenna never stopped working, by the way. Free over-the-air television is still up there right now, still reaching millions of people. We just got talked, little by little, into paying for the thing that used to fall right out of the sky. And that's how these things die. Not in a single blow, in 100 little trade-offs that all sounded reasonable at the time. So put all 8 together, and the pattern gets hard to ignore. The old home was full of things that lasted, things you could fix, things you owned outright, things that didn't ask permission to keep working. The newer version of that same home is full of replacements, subscriptions, sealed parts, and systems that depend on constant turnover. That doesn't mean everything old was better. It means a lot of things used to be built around durability, and now they're built around repeat sales. We didn't just lose a repairman, or a wall phone, or a shelf of encyclopedias. We lost a way of thinking about the things we own. We used to ask, how long will it last? Now we ask, how fast can I replace it? And once that becomes normal, the whole house changes with it. If your house had even 3 of these, you grew up in a world that was quietly put together, different than the one we've got now.